the Desmond Dion show in Washington, D.C. And in that Buffalo and San Francisco game, more than 1,000 yards of offense. We'll have highlights from those two exciting contests, plus, of course, a lot more. And Kevin and Kenny will offer their insight into this Eagles-Cardinals game at halftime.
Okay, Bob. Glad to have you with us. We'll look forward to that. In this first quarter of play, the Eagles have the football 10 minutes and 12 seconds. And they start the second quarter. On a first down, Cunningham going up top, going deep. The ball intended for Barnett, and Barnett's got it inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Barnett has been their deep threat. He's had a long of 95 yards one time. This is a 51-yard completion.
But a nice setup. Remember early in the first quarter, Barnett threw that. There was a little short pass, and Aeneas Williams was there and put the stop on him quickly. Well, this time they go right by Aeneas Williams. This was set up by two short throws in front of Williams in the first quarter. The little fake, Barnett goes by him because it was set up earlier. He's a strong inside receiver as well as being able to catch deep balls. I mean, Fred Barnett has made a big difference in their passing game.
Out of Arkansas State, first down at the 26. Almost a mix-up, but it is. They miss the handoff. Cunningham wanted to hand off to Walker, and he could not complete the exchange, and instead gets a couple of yards scrambling forward. I think probably if you have a missed exchange, Cunningham's probably the best quarterback to have that situation.
Yeah. There it is. I'll tell you, it is an incredibly lonely feeling.
Well, the way you could run, though, you could always convert those into big gainers.
It would be halftime by then. I would have run out the remaining 13 minutes by the time I scrambled.
2nd and 8.
Rich Cotate has to be happy with the way this is going right now. Randall Cunningham has not had to do it alone. He's got plenty of help in the running game.
Floyd Dixon is in the game. A handoff straight ahead to Herschel, and Herschel about a yard short of the first down. Eric Hill leading the team in tackles a year ago as well as last week there for the tackle.
Now flip it over for the Cardinals. They have to be happy, very happy to only be trailing here by 3 points. Now, this zone defense of the Phoenix Cardinals, you must be very patient, particularly inside the 20. This defense only allowed 12 touchdown passes last year. Forced a lot of fumbles, 37 of them to be exact, because they keep things in front of them and then try to rally to the football and cause turnovers.
3rd and a yard to go. Cunningham looking to Barnett. Barnett waiting for the signal. Touchdown. 17 yards.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Remember, on the last 2 3rd and 1s, they run Herschel Walker. The third 3rd and 1, they come back and throw the ball deep. Again, this is great sequencing of plays, I think, by the Eagles. And again, Barnett snatches it with the hands and then dots the I with the feet.
Cunningham has shown so many different varieties of throwing the football. Touch, long, the 51-yarders, the big play of the drive, and, of course, the 17-yard touch pass here. Brusick down to attempt the point after. And the Philadelphia Eagles now lead at 10-0. 90 yards. 7 plays. Took 4 minutes.
In the first quarter, Barnett ran 2 short routes. He's opened up the second quarter with 2 long ones. The second one ends in a touchdown. Here, Fred Barnett, how he gets separation on the defensive back. And then you're going to get a chance to see Randall Cunningham as he releases the ball even before the receiver's even looking. And the other thing is Barnett is the only receiver in the pattern. So you got maximum protection. They like the matchup between Barnett and the Cardinals' best defensive back in Aeneas Williams, best corner, and they still score.
Yeah, that is their best corner. He had 6 interceptions last year. There's the drive we just talked about a moment ago. Cunningham and Barnett team for 68 of the 90 yards on that drive. Phoenix getting the ball for only the second time. You feel they've got to respond here, or this game could get away from them.
Absolutely.
They won't return this one. Brusick drives it deep. Anthony Edwards, and at the 20-yard line, the Cardinals will start it there. 12:31 left in this first half of play. And the Eagles with an impressive win last week over the Saints, leading here 10-0.
2 extra points, and it was low snaps by David Alexander. Again, low snap, but Fiegels this time does a great job of getting the ball down and placed so they can get the extra point. So, you know, that's really is a lost art.
And so they're able to convert that, and now it's time for tonight's GMC Truck Leaderboard. And what's so interesting here, last year the Eagles #1 in total passing, rushing, defense, and one of those years, can you sort it out there? The Purple People Leaders, some of the teams through the years have played so well defensively.
Yeah. Browns and
So the Eagles #1 in all those categories. First time since '75.
I think it was even more amazing because the Eagles didn't have a consistent offense last year. I mean, they really did a lot of that on their own without a major offensive production behind them.
They had 5 quarterbacks used in the first 9 games. Kroll falls down on a pass from Rosenbaugh.
Well, this is the series, and you mentioned it. I think Tim Rosenbaugh has to come with a little smirk on his face. He is an interesting. He tripped, and I think he's laughing at it. That's the kind of play you come back tomorrow and you watch on tape. Even if you lose it, you give the receiver a hard time. You say, hey, come on, you're supposed to be running patterns your whole life, and you trip over the 20-yard line?
Rosenbaugh 0 for 3 after completing his first 2. Rosenbaugh backside pressure. Down he goes. That is the first sack, and Clyde Simmons will be given credit for that. That's his first sack of the year. He had 9 hurries a year ago, and Rosenbaugh is down. He is down. You know, I looked at the blow he took last week, and it was surprising that he was knocked out, and now he's down again, and I don't even want to speculate on what this might be. This guy fighting back, rehabbing that severe knee injury.
It's going to be from the right part of the screen, number 96 on the backside. Just it's right around Smith, number 69. I think it just drove the weight of Clyde Simmons on his shoulder, kind of compresses those shoulders.
Well, we saw that shoulder severely bruised the right upper part of his throwing arm. I don't know if that could be some of the problem. We'll wait to see. We're going to go away. Kind of a hushed crowd here at Sun Devil Stadium. 12:24 left in this first half, and the Eagles lead it 10-0.
When you stop to think of...
Supposed to block him on this particular play, and he beats him quickly. They just step out. Rosenbaugh trying to step up in the pocket, and then he gets driven right down into his right shoulder, and that's where the problem was.
And so Chris Chandler now will come in and replace Rosenbaugh. The right shoulder, the area of difficulty. Johnny Bailey in the backfield, 3rd and 11. Chandler, Randall Hill. He's the man who has all the speed. A first down, a 17-yard completion, and you got to give Chandler a lot of credit. Coming off the bench cold and completing his first pass.
Yeah, 3rd and long. I mean, you want to come in on a 1st and 10. You hand off a couple of times, but I'll tell you, he makes a heck of a throw in there on an in route by Randall Hill, and that's what you want to do. Rosenbaugh's going to go in the locker room.
So Rosie will go into the Cardinal locker room with Jim Shearer.
He's hot, and I think he's hot at his offensive line.
He was yelling at him when they took him out. So the 17-yard completion. Chandler again. He saw some brief activity last week. He's going up top the hill again, and Hill's got it. Hill goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line. And the thrill, Hill is communicating with his audience.
Overkill, Hill, maybe. No, he's fun to watch.
44 yards. Ted Plum, the receivers coach, said, you can't believe how fast he is.
Well, you know, you run different kind of routes. He ran the square in on Eric Allen, their best defensive corner for Philadelphia, and then after the square in, he comes right back and runs the go. And that ball was perfectly thrown, and that was well covered by Allen. Good concentration by Hill, and a perfectly thrown ball by Chris Chandler.
He averaged over 30 yards a catch in the preseason. That was a 44-yarder. First down at the 20. Chandler to Bailey. Bailey skips inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. Bailey was their leading rusher last week. Clyde Simmons there to make the tackle. Bailey, a Plan B acquisition for the Bears. Used on 3rd down and, of course, in the return game.
He's a good receiver. He's a good runner. but the coaches worry